Hey, this is René, welcome back to another video, and today I want to show you how to trail a pending entry order. So let me demonstrate this real quick. For example, we can place a sell limit order here. I mean, this works with sell limit orders or sell stop orders or whatever you want to do. So in this case, the sell limit order is above the current market price, of course, because this order will be executed if the bid price, so the visual price, hits the order. So the price would have to go up until this point. But what happens is if the price drops, for example, another 500 or 600 points, this would make it very unlikely that the sell limit order would be hit ever again by the market, like in the next hours or days. So in this case, you might want to trail the order with a market price. So whenever the price drops like 1 point or 10 points, you want to move the sell limit order 1 or 10 points in the market direction. So it is always like the same distance from the current price to the sell limit order. And of course, this can also be done if you place a sell stop order. So if I place my sell stop order here, and this order would be executed if the price hits the order. So it's pretty much the same scenario. If the price now moves in the other direction, like if the price rises, then we could trail this order into the same direction. So it's always like the same distance from the current market price to the order entry level. And of course, this also works with buy limit orders. So for example, we could use the buy limit and trail it with the current market price. Okay, so what we will do here is we will check for all the open orders in a specific market, and then we will trail them. So first of all, we will create a new program for this. So follow my steps here, click on Tools, MetaQuotes Language Editor. This will open the editor where we can write our programs. And now we can click in the upper left corner on New, select Expert Advisor, then click on Next. And now we will write pending order trail machine. I mean, it doesn't really matter how you name this program. Then you click on Next, Next, and Finish, and this will create a brand new Expert Advisor. There are several lines we can remove. For example, all these lines, because the gray lines are comments and the properties are only information for the user of the program, but they do not affect the program at all. Then, as always, I like to rearrange my curly brackets here. So this is a little bit a different style of arranging the brackets, but it doesn't really make a difference. So what we will do now is we will have a input variable, for example, int trailing points. And there we can say, for example, 100. So what we did here is we said that we want to create a input variable, which means if we click on compile now and turn this text file into a executable, we will already see this program in the MetaTrader, and we can drag and drop it onto any chart. And then we will have this inputs tab here, and we can see the trailing points here. And this is because we created the variable as a input variable. So the user is able to change the value. And this is a integer or int variable, which means that we can put any number inside of this variable pretty much. So any number that doesn't has a decimal point. So this will be the distance for our trailing order. For example, if we have the sell limit and we have the current price here, we want it to be moved like 100 points above the current price. So our program would drag and drop it somewhere around here, right? So this is pretty much all we need already. because now we can jump right into the onTick function and create a loop to check all the open orders. So for example, if we have, let me put some orders, if we have this order, and if we have this order, and maybe another one, we will have 3 orders. So if we want our program to take care of all these orders, we will have to loop through all the open orders pretty much, right? And this is what we can do, what we can achieve using a for loop. So what we can do is we can create this for loop, and I will explain later on what this does. So we can create a for loop like this, and a for loop is always built like this. So you have this like keyword, which is for, and then in round brackets, you have 3 sections pretty much. So the first one is the this statement will be executed once the for loop is initialized. So when the program reaches line 15 in the onTick function, which is, by the way, executed with every single tick in the market, like if there's a price change, this function will be automatically executed. So if the program then reaches this line 15, the computer sees that there is a for loop. In this case, the first statement here will be processed, which means that we create a integer variable which is named I, and we initialize it with the value of orders total -1. And if we have a look at the reference, which you can open by clicking F1 on your keyboard, you can see it returns the number of current orders. So if we have 3 orders, orders total would return 3. Now we do not put 3 inside of our variable I, but instead we, wait, let me show it to you. Instead we put 3 minus 1. So right now we have an integer variable which is named I, and it holds the value 2, right? Now, before we execute the body of this for loop, which is in between these 2 curly brackets, we check this condition, which is like the second statement of these 3 things in the round brackets. So this is like the main condition. And this condition is checked before the body of this for loop is executed. So right now we are checking if 2, because 2 is stored inside of this variable, if 2 is greater or equal 0. And this is true. So then we process the loop with I equal 2. Because like right now, the value stored inside of this variable I is 2, right? So we process this, whatever is written here. Right now there's nothing, but we will add code in a second. Then after processing the body, we will go to this last statement here in the round brackets. So afterwards we subtract 1 from our variable I. So I is now 1. Now again we check the condition. We check if 1 is greater or equal 0. This is true. So we go here again. We process the loop with I equals 1. Then we subtract it by 1 again. Then we check if 0 is greater or equal 0, which is true again. So we process the loop with I equals 0. Then we subtract it by 1. So now I is minus 1, and this is not greater or equal 0. So this is when we leave the loop. And now we process the rest of the code starting at line 22. So this is how the loop can be used to like have 3 runs for this loop right now, because we have 3 orders. If we would have another order here, I would not be initialized with 2, but instead we would have orders total, which is 4 now, because we have 4 orders. We subtract 1, so we have 3. So in this case, we would have another loop run here at the very top. So we would process the loop body pretty much with I equals 3. So you see, the more orders we get, the more iterations of this loop we get. So why do we do all this? Right now, we are doing nothing in the body of this loop. But what we want to do is we want to check all the open orders and we want to see if we have to modify them. So what we first have to do is we have to select the orders. So what we can do is we create a variable order ticket, and then we use the order get ticket variable. And there we have to provide a order index, and this index is I. And now we come to the point where I have to explain why we start at orders total -1. Because all the orders in your MetaTrader, there's an indexing system. So for example, the first order always has the index 0, always. The second one always has the index 1. The third one always has the index 2. And the fourth one always has the index 3. If we would have another order, this would have index 5. So counting starts at 0 and then you just add 1. So for example, if we would only have 2 orders, we would only have index 0 and index 1. And this is why we can use our loop like this. Because if we would have 2 orders only, we would start at 1 and then go all the way down to 0. So we would only have 2 iterations for this loop. And this is why we can select the orders using the order index. This is what I just explained. So if we do it like this, you can see, for example, if we print this order ticket here, and maybe we can write I in front of it like this. And if we have a look at the experts log here, if we place our pending order machine on the chart like this, you will see as soon as there's a tick, we see that at index 0, the order with the ticket number 932 at the end is found, 932, and at index 1, it is 939 at the end. So you can see now we have the ticket numbers for these 2 orders. And this is good because now we can go ahead and check if we can select a order using this ticket number. So there's a function for this, which is order select. And this function checks if there's a currently existing order that has this specific ticket. So this should work, and once we selected a order, we now have to check if or what order type we have here. So the easiest way to do this is to create a variable for this named order type, and the data type is enum order type, because if we have a look at the reference here, you can see there are several order types, order type by limit, by stop, sell limit, sell stop, and these are pretty much the 4 order types that we want to check, yeah? So we can go, as I explained now, we say order get integer, and now we can say order type, because we want to receive the order type. And we can use this order get integer function because we pre-selected a order using the order select function. I mean, technically the order get ticket function would be enough, but yeah, I don't know. I got used to this, so I will always build my for loop like this. Now we have the order type stored in this variable, and we can now check if order type is equal to order type by limit, or if order type is equal to order type by stop, or if order type is equal to order type sell limit, or if order type is equal to order type sell stop. And maybe I will have to explain the if statement one more time. So we used a if statement here and here and here and here and here. So a if statement is built like this. You have this keyword if, then the program knows that you want to check some kind of condition. The condition is placed in the round brackets after the if. So there you just have some mathematical comparison, or you compare two variables or whatever. So here we compare the value that is stored inside of this order type variable, and we compare it to this enumeration identifier. So we check if the order type of this specific currently selected order is by limit or by stop or cell limit or cell stop. And we can combine several if statements using a else if operation. So if this is not true, then we will check this, and otherwise we will check this. And if this is not true, then we check this. So right now we check if we have a by limit order. And if we have a by limit order, we can calculate the entry price, right? So we can say, or just price, I mean, it doesn't matter how you name it. So we can say for a buy limit, which is placed below the current market price, we then want to have the symbol info double. We want to have the bid price, and you can get this by using the symbol info double function. And we want to subtract or, wait, how do we call it? Or trailing points. And we multiply this by points, because we cannot just subtract 100, because this would not work in a market like euro, US dollar. So we have to multiply it with point, and point is always like the smallest price change in the market. For example, in euro, US dollar, it would be 0.00001, because there are 5 digits after the decimal point. So 100 multiplied with a point is then 100 multiplied with 0.0001. This would be the result. So we take the current bid price and we subtract 0.001 from this current bid price, and this is the new price for our order. So what we do here is we check if this price is above the existing order price, and we can get the existing order price using the order get double function, order price current. So we check if the price, like the price that we just calculated, is above the order price, like this. And in this case, we want to modify the order, right? So to modify the order, we will have to include another file. So we will use the ctrade class for this. So just write it like this. We hashtag include and then smaller than sign trade / trade.mqh and then greater than sign. Like these are spiked brackets pretty much. And this is a path to a file starting in the include folder here on the left side in the navigator. So include trade.mqh. You can find the file here, and you can see this is a really big file, but it is only important that it contains a class. And a class is pretty much just a construct, or it's like a class contains several functions and variables. And we can use all of these functions and variables using the class. So we can say, for example, we want to create a object variable of type ctrade. And this is the class that we just included. So this will only work if you write this line. So if I remove it, there is an error. But if I add this line and include this trade.mqh file where we find this class, this will work. So now we can use this trade object variable to have access to the functions in the class. And this class helps us to work with positions and orders and everything that comes around it. So we can say if trade, and then we can say order modify. This is a function which we take from the ctrade class, and there we can modify an order. So we can say order ticket because this will stay the same. Then we have the order price, and this is our new price that we just calculated here. And then we have to provide a SL and a TP. And since we do not change these values, we can take the existing order TP and order SL. So write order get double, order TP, order get double, order SL. So we can provide order SL, order take profit, and now we have to provide the expiration time. So when this order expires, and I will make it like really easy, and we say order time good to cancel. So this order will stay alive like for the whole time until it is cancelled. And then we can add something like function order number was modified by the pending order trail machine. So we always know what happened and why this order was modified. There's also one thing we should do. Oh, first of all, we can tell the program that this is a enum order type that we receive using this order get integer function. And then the warning is gone. And what we can do here is we can also round this price. So we can make sure there's no problem with any like that we do not have too many digits after the decimal points, for example. So this should already work, and we should already be able to trail by limit orders now. So let's try this. So oh, I think it is not trailing this by limit order, so we will have to check what happened here. We have a... Oh, there's one more thing we should do. We should check if the order symbol order get string, if the order symbol is equal to our chart symbol. Because otherwise this might cause errors with the calculation here, because point always refers to the current chart symbol. So if we do it like this, and now we have to check if or what the problem here is. So let me add a print statement here and check if we are able to order price, if we get the right values here. So yes, I think okay. So we cannot use order price current, but we have to use order price open, because this is the price for the order, and order price current gives us the current price of the market. So now we changed it, and you see the order is modified and trailed whenever the price reaches a new high, pretty much. And it should now always be like 100 points below the current market price. Yes, and this seems to work. So now we can trail this by limit order, but we do not trail this cell limit order. So we will have to add some code for this, I think. So, or let's go with the by stop first. We can do pretty much. We can do the following. We can say we copy this whole block here. So copy. We paste it here for the by stop. And then we just change some lines. So what we do here is we say the calculation will be a little bit different because the by stop order is above the current price. So we have to add the trailing stops and we cannot subtract them. And then we have to check if the new price is below the current order price. And this is it pretty much. So if we compile this, this should already work. So let me place a buy stop order here, and it should now be trailed down here as soon as the market moves. And yeah, this seems to work here. And eventually one of these orders will be executed. But in the meantime, we can do the same thing pretty much for the sell orders. So we can copy this one more time, place it here for the sell limit. And for a sell limit, which is above the current market price, we again have to use this addition, but we do not use the bid price. Instead, we use the ask price, because sell orders are... no, this is wrong. Sell orders are executed at the bid price and buy orders are executed at the ask price. So we should use the ask calculation for the buy limits or buy stops and the bid price for the sell operations. The rest is pretty much the same. And then we copy this one more time for the sell stop, and here we subtract, check if the price is above the order price. Like this. The rest can stay the same. So now we should trail all the orders. So we can try it with a sell stop order here, and you can see everything is trailed. Everything is now 100 points from the current market price and will be moved with the price if the price rises or falls, pretty much. Yeah, and then you can just wait until the order is executed. And this is how you can write a order pending machine, pretty much. So let me show you the complete program again, so you can copy it. So first of all, at the top, make sure to include this trade.mqh file, because otherwise you cannot use the ctrade class here. This is just the input variable that we use to define the distance to the current market price. In fact, we do not even need the onInit and onDinit functions, so we could remove them as well. And then we have this onTick function, and there we have this loop where we loop through all the open positions. We calculate the order ticket for every position using the index. Then we try to select the order. We check if it is a order that has the same symbol as our chart. And then we calculate some of the order properties. You can do this by using the order get integer, order get double, or order get string function. And then you will have to provide a identifier. And you will find these identifiers if you just write order underscore. You always see all the possible identifiers. You can just choose one. Then we check if it is, then we receive or calculate the order type. And then we calculate the new price. We check if this price is above or below the current order price. Depends on the order type, of course, what we compare here. If we have this greater or smaller sign, and if we have the need to modify the position, we then use the order modify function, which is part of the trade or ctrade class, and we can use this using our trade object here. And then, yeah, we just provide the necessary parameters for this function. And then we have this print statement if we modified a position. And this is it. You can use this program in any market for buy limit, buy stop, sell limit, and sell stop positions. And of course, this is not only limited to this program. You could always use this mechanism in any other program. So feel free to copy and paste it, even modify it if you like, and use it in your programs. Okay, anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you like this program and maybe you can make use of it, and maybe you can add it to your existing programs. So thanks for watching, and we will see each other in the next video. Until then, have a great time and good trades. Bye-bye.